Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score. Week 7 of college football continues, and we've got 3 Friday night matchups that are way more interesting than they look on paper. Before we jump in, I'm recording this before Thursday night's games are done. Still sweating out 2 bets. Southern Miss vs. Georgia Southern over 59.5, and Giants plus 7.5. Hopefully, by the time you're watching this, both of those cashed. But anyway, let's talk about these Friday games, because all 3 have storylines worth digging into. Let's start with South Florida versus North Texas, a sneaky good matchup. This line has been bouncing around all week. It opened with North Texas as a small favorite. Early money came in heavy on South Florida, pushing them to -2, and then once betting limits hit 20K, sharp money flipped it back toward North Texas as a short favorite again. Both teams are off to hot starts, but South Florida's early resume looks shinier with upsets over Boise and Florida. The issue: their offense has struggled to sustain drives, just 95th nationally in success rate. They've had trouble staying on the field. Now, to be fair, those struggles came against a brutal opening slate: Boise, Florida, and Miami. In those first 3 games, they had just a 34.5% success rate, but when you step back and see who they played, it makes sense. Then again, their next 2 games were against South Carolina State and Charlotte, not exactly the 2000 Ravens on defense. So, those data points are too soft to really buy into. North Texas should be the middle ground, and honestly, they might even be better than people think. This isn't last year's Mean Green. Eric Morris brought in Skylar Cassidy from Sam Houston State as defensive coordinator, and it's been a total 180. In Morris's first 2 seasons, the formula was simple: top 25 offense, bottom 25 defense, win shootouts, give up 40 every week. But this year, that's not the case. This defense is real. Their numbers only look shaky because of one game, the trip to Army, where they went up 28-7 early, took their foot off the gas, and let Army claw back. That game skews the data. Outside of that, this defense has been excellent. At home, they've looked like a different animal. The real intrigue is on the other side of the ball. South Florida's defense under Todd Orlando has come a long way since he took over in 2023, and they brought back a ton of production this year. They've been solid all season outside of that Miami game, and let's be real, we can forgive them for that. That was a gauntlet stretch. Boise, Florida, then Miami on the road. Miami's looking like one of the top teams in the country, so you give them a pass there. Still, this is a legit defense, but I just don't think they can hold up in Denton. North Texas is an absolute wagon at home. In 3 home games, they're averaging 48.7 points per game, 6.5 yards per play, and a 53% success rate. Washington State, South Alabama, those aren't cupcakes. When Drew Meemaker has time to throw, this offense hums. And South Florida's pressure rate isn't impressive at all. Give Meemaker a clean pocket in Denton, and points are coming. I don't think Byron Brown and the Bulls can keep pace here. The market's got this flipped. I think North Texas should be favored by 2 or 2.5. So yeah, I'm on the Mean Green at +1 or +1.5. Next up, Fresno State versus Colorado State. Not a ton of market movement here. It opened around Fresno -7, got nudged down to 6.5, and it's been stable ever since. Fresno's quietly rolling. After getting smoked by Kansas to start the year, they've rattled off 5 straight wins, including road victories at Oregon State and Hawaii. Oregon State's not elite, but winning in Corvallis is never easy, and that Hawaii win was gritty. Matt Enst deserves credit. This team's tough. But Fresno's offensive line is in rough shape. Left tackle Braden Walton's likely still out after getting hurt in Week 4. And they already lost their starting right guard in Week 2. Depth's thin too. On the flip side, Colorado State's defensive line has its own issues. Their captain and edge rusher W. Kanji is out for the season, and another key lineman, Gabe Jones, is done too. So both trenches are beat up. Colorado State hasn't been great overall, but they've been sneaky solid defensively at home. Their two true road games, Washington and San Diego State, were disasters, giving up 41.5 points per game and a 55% success rate. But in their 3 home games, just 18 points allowed per game, 5.0 yards per play, and 36% success rate. That's respectable. Washington State, UTSA, Northern Colorado, not pushovers. This defense holds up at Fort Collins. And while Fresno's got those road wins, their offense didn't exactly light it up. Only a 40.6% success rate and 5.86 yards per play in those two. They were helped by a +6 turnover margin. E.J. Warner has struggled in tougher road spots, and missing 2 starting linemen against a home defense like CSU's could spell trouble. The question, though, is whether Colorado State can actually move the ball. They just lost left guard Tanner Mali, another team captain. That's 2 captains down, 1 offense, 1 defense. Jackson Bruce is now the guy at QB, and while he's slightly better than Fowler Nicoloi, this offense is still a mess. The one thing they might have going for them is the run game. Fresno's run defense looks great on paper, but look at the opponents, none of them run the ball well. When they faced Oregon State and Kansas, they got gashed. So, maybe CSU finds some traction on the ground, shortens the game, and leans on defense. I can't justify laying 6.5 with Fresno on the road here. I make this number closer to 3.5 or 4. So, lean Colorado State plus 6.5. Haven't bet it yet, but that's where my head's at. Finally, Rutgers versus Washington. This one's hovered between 9.5 and 10.5 all week, settling at a flat 10 now. Rutgers is heading all the way west, which is a brutal travel spot for Big Ten teams. Historically, those cross-country trips end ugly. On paper, Rutgers' offense has looked sharp, and Washington's defensive metrics are soft, especially versus the pass. But context matters. Washington's defense is healthier than it's been all season. They're still missing linebacker Alka and edge rusher Zach Derry, but they're getting huge pieces back. Starting defensive tackle Javon Parker is making his season debut. Top corner Takario Davis returns after missing since week 2, and their prized freshman linebacker, Zodrius Rainey-Sale, is set to play his first collegiate game. That's a major defensive boost. And yes, Maryland jumped all over Washington early last week, but that was Washington traveling east, the exact opposite of what Rutgers is about to do. Before that, Washington's bad defensive games were against Ohio State and Washington State. One's a playoff contender, the other a rivalry game. I think this defense shows up at home. Callie McManus has cooled off lately too, struggling against Iowa and Minnesota. Rutgers has weapons, and Ian Strong being back helps, but I think Washington's defense will create just enough stops. And let's be honest, Rutgers' defense is a problem. It was already one of the worst in the Big Ten, and now it's even more banged up. Their big transfer defensive tackle, Dooley from South Florida, was lost before the season. Linebacker Moses Walker is now out for the year too. Taking that unit on a cross-country flight to face Dean Williams and this Washington offense. That's nightmare fuel. Washington's offense sputtered recently against Maryland and Ohio State, but those defenses are elite, and this Rutgers front is the exact opposite. Yes, Washington's missing 2 starting linemen, Carver Williams and John Mills, but against Rutgers, that might not matter. This just screams bounce back spot. Washington's going to get back to that early season form where they dropped 40+ on Colorado State and Washington State. The question is just whether Rutgers can keep up. I doubt it. I still like Washington even at -10.5. Maybe a lean toward the over, but I see Washington rolling here. Let's call it another 40-point outing. Alright, that's all for this one. As always, live streams every weekday at midnight, weekends 10 a.m. Saturday and 11 a.m. Sunday. Stop by, Drop your thoughts in the chat, and let's have another profitable weekend. Bet smart, bet responsibly, and I'll see you on the next Beyond the Box score.